direction they wanted to go. And then they spun up on that platform, and then they ejected them, and they were spinning when they went off.
These things opened up,
Because they never stop.
Yeah.
and they opened up the.
Yeah, the bay door.
These were radiators on the inside of the door. The shuttle could go about 3 hours. They used a water boiler for cooling. It just in the vacuum. It turns to steam real quick. So they cooled the shuttle with just a water boiler until they could open the doors. And if they couldn't, if we had they had 3 hours. They could go around 3 revs, I think, or something. Before, if they couldn't open the doors, they had to land again.
Wow.
What are those gold things, or what is that?
It's a platform for satellite. That's like a communication satellite. Intelsat, okay. Oh, yeah. But it started spinning it up because it needed to be spinning first to be stabilized when they let go of it.
So they're delivering that's their payload.
Yeah. We could have 4 of those in the bay.
Wow.
And we had a lot of trouble because everybody wanted to be first out, and we had a lot of trouble making them. No, you can't be. We'll decide who's going first, and you have to be able to. We had a lot of trouble with this. Lundy took me up to Washington one time to talk to the head guy because all these companies were complaining about. They were used to riding on a rocket for 8 minutes, and then they were on their own. But here we're going to someone be in here for 3 days. They didn't like that. So we finally made them design thermally so that the shuttle bay could point at the sun for 30 minutes, or a deep space for 90 minutes. But the rest place was point the cargo bay at the Earth because that was the best environment. So after everyone agreed to do, or after the head guy agreed that'll be the policy, then everything worked fine after that.
How many did you carry at the same time?
4.
4? Where were they?
What? Well, they just
here?
yeah. This is
Find
just,
it here.
Yeah.
They just stacked them in.
Stack them in here? Wow. Yeah, it's bigger than.
Individual.
Yeah.
And they're all numbered. Oh, what a pain! And the whole bottom of the shuttle has those on it too.
You guys were working on this tile because of the heat,
Yeah.
and how long did it take you to perfect it?
Well, actually, I wasn't much involved in this. I was still in the Apollo program office when they were designing the shuttle. I talked to the guys who were doing it and stuff, but I didn't have much to do with the designing the shuttle. But after they closed up the Apollo program office, we were in charge of the payload integration office is what they
Okay.
called us, and so we did all the negotiation with the payload guys.
Over here is NASA. There's the building that Al worked in, right back there. Al, what a
Yeah.
Johnson City.
Yeah.
Right on that lid.
no. The first one was the
Which one was?
the first one was the Columbia, wasn't it?
No, Columbia was the one that had the hole in
Tile.
the tile.
That was the first one that went down.
No, that's
Challenger.
the second.
No,
Challenger
Challenger
blew
was
up.
the first.
Challenger
The
blew
second
up on
one,
launch.
I think it was Columbia.
Yeah,
and
Columbia was the one that.
one of those astronauts lived in our neighborhood.
The last one that blew up was.
Atmospheric pressure on the shuttle. The command module was only 5 psi, 1/3 of an atmosphere, and it was originally launched with oxygen, and we had that fire. They do a pressure test on the launch pad, so they have to pump it up to like 18 psi above the atmospheric pressure with oxygen, and that's when the fire happened.
Oh, on Apollo 1?
Yeah.
Oh.
So then they started launching with air, and then they turned it to oxygen
Later.
during the flight, during the soon as they got on orbit, they started enriching it, so it was 5 psi. And that was a real problem because they could get the bends because of depressurization when they're breathing air. So the crew, after that, the crew got into spaces and they had to pre-breathe with just pure oxygen for 3 or 4 hours before launch. So they didn't get the bends.
Nitrogen out of it.
Yeah.
Did you work directly on that?
Yeah.
Like, what would you have been doing on that?
You can't say it. Just all the procedures. I was worked mostly on the environmental control system and the cooling system for the fuel cells. They made electricity with fuel cells. They just take hydrogen and oxygen and combine it, and you get electricity out of it and water. And the water is what they use to drink.
Oh, wow.
Cool it with the water boilers and stuff.
Wow. Pioneer. Yeah.
You know, that was a challenge. I think the very first one.
2 guys.
The 2 guys that went up and sitting on the landing. Which one?
Shuttle, first shuttle. It was just
The very
2 guys.
first one, we didn't do any test flights. We just launched it for the first time.
The first launch was a test flight, so there was only 2 astronauts.
We're only going to lose 2 if we have to.
Right.
Wow.
John Young, right?
Yeah, John Young was a pilot. I can't remember who was the co-pilot.
And I remember the picture when it landed, and he was, I mean, he just kicked the tire of it.
We built this shuttle, and they really, I mean, NASA had a plan for it, but nobody, you know, we didn't have any use for it, actually. I mean, NASA had plans that everyone was going to give up expendable rockets and fly on this shuttle, but, you know, everybody thought, well, you're just boring holes in the sky with it, you're not doing anything with it. And that's, I got a lot of good trips up for the payload integration, going around, you know, explaining to people how to fly in the shuttle, how you're going to do it, and stuff like that. We'd just done the Russian space mission, and it hadn't even landed yet when we got a pink sheet in the office that says, now you're transferred to the Shuttle Payload Integration and Development Program Office. We didn't know what it was. And we did nothing for, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, just learning about the shuttle. We had no, it was kind of crazy. I used to go fishing on Wednesday just because I was so bored.
Erase that part.
They'll deduct your money.
But then they started having us, well, when contractors like Hughes, they would have conferences for their bidders to come and work on it, and so they were going to have to fly in the shuttle, so we had to have a committee usually go to these meetings with their contractor to explain to them how it was going to work, fly in the shuttle.
What would they do there?
Well, it was, you know, it's same pressures we have right here in the shuttle cabin. So they had to come into this and then lower the pressure before they could open this door to come on out here.
Oh, cool.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Whose imagination solved the thorny problem of returning the shuttle to its home base?
And what about Warren?
Oh, Morris.
He was the guy I was talking about, Owen Morris. Yes.
There were 2 of them. That's Angel. There's Owen Morris and Joslyn.
With the idea of placing the space shuttle orbiter on top
know anything else?
He got out of the program off and to work on something else. And he offered me a job to come work for him. And Owen Morris wouldn't let me transfer.
Really?
Kept me from getting a promotion.
You were too important on what you were doing.